welcome to another edition of Channel 8 Update. I'm Jess Labella.
I'm Cassandra DeLuise.
And I'm Danielle Lorenzo.
If you are one of the many who get mad at your computer for taking 10 minutes to get on the internet, we have news for you. Qualcomm announced plans this week for new technology that would triple Wi-Fi speeds in homes, offices, and public networks. The company's new approach, which follows 7 years of research, allows networks to transmit data to multiple groups of users simultaneously using algorithms that adapt on the fly to changes in usage. The technology is known as MU-MIMO, which stands for Multi-User, Multiple Input, Multiple Output. Qualcomm plans to sell these chips to manufacturers of wireless routers and access points, as well as to companies that make smartphones, tablets, and other consumer electronics. They also plan on demonstrating this technology in the next few months before beginning shipments to customers early next year.
Starting off with this week's Local Lowdown, we have an update on Rent. The Walter Galore Main Stage Series and the Department of Theater and Dance presented Rent this past weekend to an overwhelming success. The show is directed by Tom Laughlin and is described as a rock concert that breaks the fourth wall, meaning that the audience is included in the play itself for an up-close and personal experience. In 1996, the play debuted on Broadway, where it ran for 12 years. The plot is based on artists attempting to live in the Lower East Side of Manhattan while trying to build careers in dealing with the looming issue of HIV and AIDS. The show runs again this Thursday and Friday and Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Unfortunately, if you did not already purchase tickets, they are sold out for the weekend.
Continuing with events this weekend, Relay for Life is happening this Saturday from 4 p.m. and will run until 4 a.m. on Sunday. This event is put on by Colleges Against Cancer, and all proceeds will go to the American Cancer Society. To register for the event, please go to relayforlife.org. WNYF-TV is planning to broadcast the event live from Steele Hall, so be sure if you aren't there to tune into the event on your TV.
Wednesday, April 9th at 4 p.m. S204D in the Williams Center will be hosting the 16th Annual Gender Research Conference. The student spotlight work is done by Claire Woodcock and Kathleen Descartes. The keynote presentation will contain part of the documentary, Sins Invalid. The documentary is focused on performances of disabled, queer, and gay performance. The event is hosted by the Women and Gender Studies Department.
The Eco-Friendly Campus is at it again Saturday, April 26th from 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. and will be collecting household electronics. For a full list of what you can donate, please look at the SUNY Fredonia website. The list does include computers, monitors, hard drives, VCRs, DVD players, and batteries. Everything will be unloaded from your car for you. But the event does bring up that they are not able to collect air conditioners, large kitchen appliances, or children's toys.
Delta Chi is hosting its 4th annual Easter egg hunt this Sunday located in the President's front lawn at 194 Central Ave. There will be an Easter egg hunt, a petting zoo, arts and crafts. The Easter Bunny and Mr. Carrot will also be making an appearance. Parking is available in the Fenton Hall parking lot, and the event will run from 1 to 3 p.m., with the Easter egg hunt beginning at 2 p.m. There is an age limit. You must be between the ages of 2 and 10 to take part in the hunt. That's very disappointing because I think I would love to take part in that.
I was disappointed as well. Finishing up this week's Local Lowdown, over 4 decades ago, Artie Kornfeld formed Woodstock Ventures. Earlier today in McEwen 202, Kornfeld gave a speech. He revisited the counterculture that was created by the event and talked with students. This event was free to the public thanks to the support of DFT Communications and Waring Financial Group.
This past week, 4 Fredonia students received the honor of a lifetime. The Chancellor's Award was awarded to Laura Hurst, Corey Jackson, Cara Lamb, and Samantha Gerniolo for not only their GPA, but their overall excellence in leadership, athletics, creative and performing arts, and community service. Laura Hurst is a political science and history major with a minor in international studies. She is also a founding member of the International Club and has had internships with U.S. Senator Charles Schumer and U.S. Representative Bill Owens. Corey Jackson is a biology major who aspires to be a physician. He was recently accepted to the University of Florida College of Medicine. Carl Lamb majors in audio radio production, applied music, and journalism. He has had internships at WGRZ TV and WBEN 9:30 a.m. He currently works as an announcer at WNED FM in Buffalo. He also plays violin for various orchestras in the area. Samantha Giarniolo is a psychology major with a minor in sociology. She has been accepted to a highly competitive accelerated baccalaureate program of science and nursing at Niagara University. Only 20 students are accepted into the program, and it leads to a degree in nursing just in 12 months. These 4 students are the faces of excellence, and we are very proud to have them as part of the Fredonia community.
And congratulations to all 4 of those students on their accomplishments. Last week, Dr. David Herman, Vice President of Student Affairs, called a mandatory meeting with the Student Association to discuss the future of FredFest. Herman informed SUNY Fredonia on why FredFest needs to change and also gave students a chance to voice their opinions on the matter. Let's take a look at some of the things Dr. Herman had to say.
How many of you want to have FredFest this year? Show of hands. Okay. How many of you think we can improve it this year? Show of hands. That's good. How many of you think we can behave better downtown? All right. We are going to have FredFest. Yeah. We don't have to fight about that. It's clear that you want some kind of activity. But we are going to have to make a few adjustments on and off campus. And I think most people feel that's pretty reasonable. The reason is, while you're having fun, there are a lot of safe issues when it's too much fun. And while you guys are enjoying FredFest, I've spent too many of them in the emergency room. And so what do we do? We've had students hurt, we've been lucky, and we want to balance that out. We don't want people getting hurt.
Well, there you have it. FredFest is indeed happening this year, and Fredonia has no intention of taking away this beloved tradition.
Well, that is a great relief to me. I always have a lot of fun at FredFest.
It's definitely a huge occasion and something that I'm glad will be returning again.
Oh, it defines Fredonia, if you ask me. But on to more national news. After being the host of Late Night for 33 years, David Letterman has announced that he is retiring in 2015. Letterman broke the news during a taping of Thursday's show. He said on his show that he called CBS President Leslie Moonves before the program. It's been great, you've been great, and the network has been great, but I'm retiring. Moonves has said the statement that we knew that this day was getting closer, but that doesn't make it the moment any less poignant than for us. By the time Letterman retires, he will have hosted The Late Show with David Letterman for 22 years and Late Night for 11 years.
That's quite an impressive track record. Speaking of track, after the break, we will return with international news, an update with movement along the Russian borders, and a recently active volcano. Stay tuned.
Every book is an adventure waiting to come to life. Visit new worlds. Encounter new friends. And discover the power of reading. Go to read.gov to read A Princess of Mars, the first novel to feature John Carter. A new world awaits. Read.
Same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Welcome back to Channel 8 Update, and now we turn to international news.
A recent BBC report reveals that the Russian-Ukrainian tensions remain high. The Russian company Gazprom is raising prices on gas by massive margins, which puts a strain on the already politically troubled Ukraine. To put this in perspective, the price of gas has risen more than 80%. Obviously, the interim Prime Minister of Ukraine, Arseniy Yatsenyuk, isn't taking Gazprom's actions sitting down. Yatsenyuk declared that, quote, Russia has been unable to seize Ukraine by means of military aggression. Now they're implementing plans to seize Ukraine through military action, end quote. Ukraine's also debt into Russia because of gas purchases. Ukraine is considering diplomatic solutions to its economic issues. Keep watching for more Ukraine-Russian situation later in our program.
After having to reschedule once, Oscar Pistorius finally took the stand this Monday morning. His first statement, apologizing to the family and friends of Riva Steenkamp, his girlfriend who he killed on Valentine's Day last year. He was quoted as saying, "I can't imagine the pain and sorrow and the emptiness that I've caused you and your family. I can promise you that when she went to bed that night, she felt loved," end quote. This is the first time he has spoken in public about her death, which he says was an accident. His main defense is that he fired the gun at what he thought was a burglar because he would have been unable to defend himself or run away because of his disability. The trial is scheduled to resume tomorrow morning after the defense asked to end early because Pistorius wasn't able to sleep the night before and was exhausted.
We've got several concerning developments from the Russian and Ukraine for you tonight. According to CNN, the problems in that region are only growing. At a recent NATO meeting, discussions included potential increases in NATO's presence in Ukraine to defend the country from Russia. The Russian military is very close to the Ukrainian border, ostensibly for military exercises, but red flags are definitely being raised. The Russians, meanwhile, think that NATO is raising the alarm over nothing in the wake of the Ukrainian region, Crimea becoming part of Russia. Their NATO ambassador, Colonel General Valery Yevnevich, has left for Russia.
Also of concern is a Ukrainian government report which says former President Viktor Yanukovych ordered the shooting of protesters in Kiev last February. The same report indicates Russian agents may have aided this anti-protest initiative. Finally, as if they didn't have enough to deal with already, the Ukrainians' gas prices are soaring, as mentioned earlier in our program. Ukraine gets some of its gas from a Russian company named Gazprom and owes Russia a significant amount of money. Gazprom's price adjustments can only make this tense international situation worse.
A volcano just south of the Ecuadorian capital of Quito erupted on Friday, creating a plume of ash that extended 6 miles into the air. Tungurahua was declared active in 1999 and has had several eruptions before Friday's incident, but has had an increasing activity in the last 2 months. The volcano, whose name means throat of fire, the local language, is one of the 8 other active volcanoes in Ecuador, which in turn is located in the Pacific Ring of Fire, an area notorious for seismic and volcanic activity. The Geosciences Institute of Ecuador reported that the volcano erupted 3 times over the weekend, with Friday's eruption lasting a total of 5 minutes.
Mozilla CEO Brendan Eich, who supported California's Proposition 8 and ignited a controversy over the Firefox maker, has resigned, Ike announced his resignation in a blog post on April 3rd. Ike, who founded the programming language JavaScript and co-founded Mozilla in 1998, was recently named Mozilla's CEO on March 24th. Soon after the announcement, it was revealed that he provided financial backing for Prop 8. Calls for his resignation began pouring in on social media, as well as a noteworthy protest from dating site OkCupid. Ike has defended his $1,000 donation in interviews, saying that his politics did not affect how he would perform as a CEO. Mozilla has yet to choose a successor for Ike, and there will be new information on that front next week.
Until recently, scientists have only identified 6 basic human emotions: happy, sad, fearful, angry, surprised, and disgusted. These emotions are defined by the facial muscles, which we use to express each emotion. But in a new study, Alex Martinez, an associate professor at Ohio State University, has identified 15 additional compound emotions. These are expressed by combining the basic 6 emotions, much like combining a primary paint colors, creating secondary colors. Through this study, scientists will be able to see these certain emotions affect the brain. Martinez compares the brain to a computer program that they are trying to decode. For the last couple of decades, they were using 6 emotion algorithms, when now they can use 21. This new breakthrough shows much promise and will be something that could help in the future research of some psychiatric disorders.
Up next, after the break, we have this week's weather and an update on how the Blue Devil athletics are doing. See you in a few.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're gonna be hanging out a little bit more.
Welcome back to Channel 8 Update. How's the weather looking this week, Cassie?
I hear it's looking good. Keeping up with this recent warm trend, this week is looking wet, soggy, and warm. Starting off with tonight, the rain will continue through the night with a high of 47 and a low of 42, and a chance for thunderstorms. Moving on to the rest of the week, tomorrow has a chance of rain and a high of 44. Wednesday, there will be a break from the rain with partly cloudy skies and a high of 41. Thursday is looking to be on the windy side, with winds predicted to be around 21 miles per hour, but is predicted to be the warmest day of the week, with a high being 61 and a low being 64. Wrapping up this academic week, there should be partly cloudy skies and a high of 50 degrees. And now we turn to Danielle Lorenzo for this week's sports update.
Hi, everyone. The Fredonia State softball team lost their doubleheader Tuesday at Buffalo State, 4-0 and 6-5. The Blue Devils struggled to make contact with the bat in the first game with only 2 hits, with back-to-back singles by Alyssa Morgan and Charisse Gunnell. The Blue Devils were able to lead the second game 5-3, but with 2 outs in the last of the 7th before falling to Buff State. The Devils had more luck with the bat this time and were able to unleash an 11-hit attack in Game 2. Charisse Gunnell, Jess Lueck, and Madeline Medina had 2 hits each, and Medina collected 2 RBI. The Devils will take on the Geneseo Knights today at 4 p.m. at Geneseo. The Fredonia Blue Devils women's lacrosse team had 2 impressive wins at University Stadium this week. Blue Devils defeated Elmira in a 15-8 home non-conference game, and they had a 17-5 SUNYAC victory over New Paltz on Saturday. Senior Katie Klein had 6 goals, 4 assists, 5 draw controls, and 5 ground balls, and 2 caused turnovers for the day against New Paltz. The Blue Devils improved to 8-2 overall and 2-0 in the SUNYAC. Fredonia will be headed to Geneseo as well on Tuesday, April 8th. For more Blue Devil news, the Fredonia Blue Devils baseball team made its way to Houghton College to take on Brockport on Thursday. The Devils came away with a 6-2 win over the Golden Eagles. Fredonia State jumped to an early 2-0 lead in the first inning. With 1 out, a hit batter, hits by Cesario Frontel and Ricky Medolia, loaded the bases. Mike Prentice brought the first run with the bases loaded walk. Following Prentice, Matt Casilla's ground out accounted for the second run. Brockport scored in the bottom of the 4th on a wild pitch. The top of the inning, the Blue Devils' Scott Schuster crushed a leadoff triple and scored on a single by Connor Lorenzo. After a sacrifice bunt and another hit by Frontel put runners in scoring position. Mendolia hit in Lorenzo on a sacrifice fly to put the Devils up 4-1. In the bottom of the 5th, Brockport cut the lead in half. The Devils added a run in the 7th to make it 5-2, and another run was scored in the 8th when Lorenzo's 2-out single drove in Dan Cecilia. Fredonia State is 6-8 and 2-2 in the SUNYAC Conference. On a more national field, the New York Yankees shortstop Derek Jeter gained 8th place on baseball's all-time hit list. Jeter had 2 hits in the first 4 innings on Sunday against the Blue Jays. The day gave him 3,320 career hits and moving him one ahead of Hall of Famer Paul Molitor. Jeter will turn 40 on June 26, has announced that this season will be his last in baseball. It is his 20th season as a Yankee. Jeter's 99 hits behind the next player on the list, Carl Yastrzemski, and 110 behind Honus Wagner, who takes 6th place. The Huskies will advance to the title game with a 63-53 win over the Florida Gators. The last time the Florida Gators lost was on December 2nd to UConn. It seemed that it was only fitting that the Huskies put an end to the Gators' 30-game winning streak, only this time in the Final Four. They'll be joined by Kentucky. Kentucky defeated the Wisconsin Badgers in a nail-biting 74-73 battle. Kentucky Aaron Harrison took a pass from his twin brother Andrew, and with 5.7 seconds left, he made the game-winning shot. 8th-seeded Kentucky will play 7th-seeded Connecticut tonight, and it's going to be a great game, and I'm really excited to watch it.
Well, there's definitely a lot going on in the sports world, and that is definitely exciting. I'm glad to hear that that the Blue Devils are doing well in most of the sports, so that's really cool. A circus elephant that was injured last year in a drive-by shooting finally returned to the ring Thursday night in the same city where she was shot. Carol the elephant was shot behind the ear back in April 2013 in Tupelo, Mississippi. Steve Payne, a spokesman for Ringley's Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, says she's doing great, happy to be back in Tupelo, and happy to be back performing. The 40-year-old Asian elephant took a few weeks off to recover. Payne said that she has performed since the shooting, but Thursday was Circus' first show back in Tupelo. The circus has also stepped up security and is working with local law enforcement. Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus was scheduled to begin in Tupelo until last night.
Well, I am very happy for Carol the elephant. I am glad that she is doing well.
Yeah, it's surprising that she only, took a few weeks off. I mean, you'd imagine when you get shot behind the ear that you'd need more time, but I guess elephant skulls are a little thicker than humans.
Oh, I guess so. You always hear stories about big brothers, shooting their sisters with BB guns, and I don't know, they probably take a little bit more time to recover than that.
Yeah.
So on to some WNYF TV news. This week we have a schedule of Pictures in Motion coming on at 8 p.m. tonight, or 8:30 p.m., excuse me. And then on Wednesday, we have Fred Before Bed at 10 p.m. Thursday, we have 2 shows. We have Inside Jokes going on at 10, excuse me. And we have Sports Hour with Scott at 8. And then Friday, we have Open Mic Night at 7 p.m. And we hope that you can tune into these shows because they're going to be fantastic.
Now, and I know that Fred Before Bed has gained a lot of notoriety recently, but I've never actually seen it. What exactly is Fred Before Bed?
Well, it's hosted by Brendan Orr, who is a very involved WNYF TV member. He is basically running a Fredonia culture show. So he talks a lot about general pop culture, celebrity news, but then he also focuses a lot on what's happening on campus. He recently had an interview with Fredonia Confessions.
I heard about that.
I wanna see
That's
that.
really interesting.
Oh yeah, it was a great interview. You can catch it on WNYF TV. We will be re-airing the episode sometime this week. And then he also has interviews with various clubs. Last week he had the Quidditch Club, and then he has a musical performance with local bands.
All right, so it's like a variety show kind of
Exactly.
about Fredonia life. Now, I know that for Fred Confessions that the person or people who run it are anonymous. What did they do in order to kind of maintain that anonymity on the interview?
Well, we had a silhouetted lighting scenario, so they were just silhouettes. And then we also had one of our editors change their voices.
Okay.
So,
it's like witness protection program.
yeah,
kind of
exactly.
Thing. Very cool.
Just don't
very
want
cool.
us to know who they are.
No, they do not.
Unfortunately.
With good reason, though,
Yeah.
because that would be scary. I know a lot of people aren't very supportive of what they do.
Yeah,
So it's definitely in their best interest to stay hidden.
I agree. I agree completely.
As well.
So that is us, another edition of Channel 8 Update. I'm Cassandra DeLuise.
I'm Jess Labella.
And I'm Danielle Lorenzo.
Have a good night, Fredonia.